All right, so looking at arithmetic sequences, what we do with arithmetic sequences is basically I'm adding the same thing over and over and over. If we look at example number 1, each time I'm subtracting, so in this case I'm adding a negative number, I'm subtracting 100, right? From 25 to get negative 75, I subtracted 100. From negative 75 to get negative 175, I subtract 100, subtract 100, on and on and on. The way you can find that, which we're going to call our difference, the way we find our difference, any number that you see there, as an example, I'm going to pick negative 175. Any number that you see there, subtract the previous number. So negative 175 minus a negative 75. I know minus a negative on the second case give me a plus sign. A negative 175 plus positive 75 give me negative 100. So in order for you to find the difference, any number, subtract the previous number. So looking at example 2, for me to find the difference, any of those numbers, I'm going to pick 11 minus the previous number. Again, my difference is 3. So if you guys can see, each time I'm adding 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it's easy to find the difference on an arithmetic sequence. Arithmetic sequence means I'm adding or subtracting the same number over and over and over. Notice how at the end I have dots on each of my series. That means the number continues on and on and on. I can easily ask you guys for the 5th number, right? There's 4 numbers. I can easily ask you guys for the 5th number, the 6th number. But now what if I ask you guys for the 200th number? Or the 350th number, right? Something really big. That's what we're going to come out with what we call explicit formula. Now, if we think about it on the preview on here, if we think on question number 1, if I think of a formula, I'm going to say my first number, I'm going to call it a's of 1. My first number is going to be 25 plus 0 times negative 100, right? The initial number plus 0 times the difference, right? I'm not adding any differences at all. If I want to say, well, I want to get the second number, I'm going to say a's of 2 is 25 plus 1 times the difference. If I get the third number is 25 plus 2 times the difference. And if I think of what about the fourth number, I'm going to say the initial number, 25, plus 3 times our difference. Right? 25 plus 3 times our difference, it should give us our fourth number, a fifth number, and on and on. If I just came over and I skip and I said our 10th number is going to be 25 plus, I'm going to leave a space in there. I know my difference is negative 100. Now, how many times do you think I add the difference for me to find the 10th number? What was it? 9. Nice. Right? Each time I add one of my numbers, right? If it's a's of 10, if it's the 10th number, I added the difference 9 times. If it's the 20th number, I'm adding the difference 19 times. So our formula is going to be a's of n, because that means for any number, I'm going to say 25, which is my first number, plus, let me put in parentheses, n minus 1 times a negative 100. So that's what we call the explicit formula. That formula I'm going to use to find any term that I want. Thank you. So looking at question number 2, my explicit formula is going to be a's of n. What's the first thing that I write on a's of n? Equals 5, because that's my initial number, plus, what do I write then? N minus 1, and then 3. Because my difference on question number 2 is 3, right? I did negative 100 on question number 1 because the difference was negative 100. The difference in question number 2 is 3. And that's what we call the explicit formula. So all I do is, my first number here, it is my ace of 1, basically my first number. My number here, it is my difference. Use this for your notes. Now, when you guys type in your answer, we cannot do subscripts. What I call subscript is the little n house little at the bottom. We cannot do a's and then the little n at the bottom. We cannot do subscripts. So the way I will type that in will be a's of n. I'm going to put parentheses the n to represent it's a subscript. A's of n is equal to 5 plus n minus 1 and then 3. That's how I will type in question number 2 whenever you guys are doing your homework. Because we cannot do subscripts, a's of n, like the little n at the bottom. We're just going to put the n inside parentheses. So for question number 1, I would have done a, open parentheses, close parentheses, equals 25 plus n minus 1, and then inside parentheses, negative 100. Good on those? Yes. Go for it. Yeah. We're good. All right, now let's get back to the. Now let me take a look at questions number 3 and 4. All right, question number 3 and 4, we're going to be using the formula. So I'm just going to put it here at the side. I know my formula for question number 3 is ace of n equals 7 plus, in here my difference is 9, or better yet, it's n minus 1 times 9. Right? That's my formula. That's my explicit formula. But here it is asking, find the 38th term. Find ace of 38. So I'm just going to say ace of 38 equals 7 plus 37 times 9. I'm going to use the explicit formula. Remember 37 because it's always one less than 38 in this case. So I'm going to grab my calculator to figure out what 37 times 9, because I had to do multiplication first. 37 times 9. That happens to be 333. So I'm asking how much is 7 plus 333. So my answer in this case should be 340. I can do it. I can add 7 each time. I can add 9 each time and find out what's my 38th number. I can do a big list, or I can just use the formula. Let me take a look at our example number 4. I'm going to say ace of 28 is equal to 12, right? Our first number, plus 27, because I always do one less. Ace of 28, so I do 27. Now, what's my difference in this case? Negative 6. So let me find out what's 27 times 6, or 27 times a negative 6 in this case, is negative 162. So I have, how much is 12 minus 162? Number is that? You guys know what's 12 minus 162? Negative 150. So that's what we're doing, right? Arithmetic